morning, everybody. Welcome to episode number 82 of Driftless Knitting. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Driftless Knitter, and you can find the podcast on Ravelry if you search for Driftless Knitting under the Groups tab. We do have a few threads that are open in that group now. If you guys are longtime viewers, you know that doesn't often happen. I am not the best about putting up show notes, and we haven't done a Cal in quite a while, but right now I am hosting the Show Some Love Cal, or Knit Along, and that is until the end of July. You have the rest of June and all of July to knit the Show Some Love shawl, which is one of my newest designs. It is up on Ravelry, and yeah, it's available for purchase there. It's knit out of about 430 yards of fingering weight yarn, and it's a really pretty asymmetrical shawl. I will show you, I am knitting another one as well, and I will show you that when I get into works in progress. But yeah, all you really have to do is cast on, knit a little bit. You don't even have to finish by the end of July. It's really just participation. So there's only one thread open in the Ravelry group, and if you comment on people's pictures, if you post your own pictures, I do want to see that you're actually knitting it, so don't just go in there and put some comments in, and then you're not going to be qualified for prizes if you just do that. The one thing I wanted to say also is that I am putting a hashtag on there. A couple people have been using the hashtag, which is awesome. It's the Show Some Love, or it's hashtag Show Some Love Cal, which is K-A-L, all one word obviously. But in order to be eligible for prizes, you do have to post your progress, or at least post a photo in that thread on Ravelry. I'm not going to be selecting prize winners from the Instagram hashtag. It's just a fun hashtag to go and look and see everybody else's progress, see what people are doing, what they're knitting it in, things like that. But the prize drawing will be done out of Ravelry, so please do that. What else was I going to say about? I'll show you one thing in a little bit that is going to be one of the prizes for the Knit Along. If anybody is a maker out there and you want to donate prizes for the Knit Along, please just get in contact with me. I'm obviously always willing to take prizes, and then to give you a little bit of, I don't want to say publicity, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, show it off on the podcast. It's kind of fun. Otherwise it's been really fun. I'm enjoying knitting that pattern again, and yeah, I hope everybody else is too. I am coming to you from Cross Plains, Wisconsin, which is just west of Madison, Wisconsin. It is Monday morning, June something. I'll get into life stuff a little bit, but the last few weeks have been so busy. I can't really keep track of what day it is really, but I'm drinking some coffee. You can't see it because, oh, there you go. It's kind of in there. Some coffee today in my Mrs. mug. This was a wedding gift from one of my best friends from high school. He gave my husband and I Mr. and Mrs. mugs, and yep, one of my favorites. And speaking of, you may have noticed this brightly colored bling on my hand. I forgot that I was wearing my silicone ring just now, but I just got this about a week ago. We've been meaning to get silicone rings to wear when we're outside and active. Seaver wears his when he's working on the farm, and when he's working out and stuff like that. I wear mine when I'm in the dye studio because I don't want to get my real diamond ring, dirty and full of junk. I know I can clean it and stuff like that, but I don't know, there's something about chemicals and dyes that I'm just like, I don't want to mess with that, even though I do wear rubber gloves most of the time. But so when I'm in the dye studio at work, also when we're playing sports or something like that, hiking, it's just kind of nice to have a lightweight, almost indestructible ring on that you're not really afraid of losing. So yeah, and this is my favorite color, so Seaver got me Seaver got me a turquoise blue one. So, yeah, just in case you're wondering, like, where did her other wedding band go? It's just kind of a replacement one that I wear every so often. So, anyway, I'm kind of wondering where I should start in all of this. As you can see, I am not in my usual place. I really do enjoy podcasting in my little corner. I sit down by my handmade quilts from my Oma and just have my little cozy corner. But today, our living room, the living room is straight in front of me. Our kitchen is behind me. You can maybe see the cabinets and stuff. But our living room is in a bit of disarray in a way. We decided last night, it was the first really hot, muggy night of the season. We don't have great air conditioning. We have a wall unit that we can turn on and it runs, but it doesn't have temperature control, so we have to turn it off at night or else it's like an ice box in here, and that's a waste of energy. We don't want to use, that much electricity. So we have to turn it off at night, and also it doesn't get very cool up in our loft, which is where we sleep. That's our bedroom. So we decided last night to bring our mattress down into the living room. Because why not? It was cooler down here. We knew we'd get better sleep. We both have had really busy weeks, and it just seemed like a great idea, and actually it was. It was nice and cool. We had the wall unit running a little bit earlier in the evening, so it had stayed cool down here, and yeah, we both got a really good night's sleep. But we left it down here because it's supposed to be in the mid to high 80s, with a lot of humidity coming up in the next few days. It's actually starting to rain right now. We're gonna have thunderstorms, so it's just gonna be sticky and gross. So we decided to leave it. So our couch is pushed back against the wall over there. Our mattresses are here in the front. All of the other, we have like a coffee table and stuff that's tucked behind this chair. So it's a little like condensed and compressed, and I don't have my usual space to kind of spread out and set up and everything. So I'm here in the big comfy chair in our living room, and yeah, I'm thinking this is an okay place too. I'm actually like reclining slightly, so it's really, really comfy. But yeah, it also means that you're a little bit closer to me. So if I don't know, if it seems a little bit weird, seems a little bit close, that's just because I don't have enough space to put the tripod any further back. I just got back from Cleveland, Ohio. I was there over the weekend, actually from Thursday night until Sunday morning, at TNNA, which is the National Needle Arts Conference Association, something like that group. Anyway, they do all the fun things like LYS Day. They put together these conferences twice a year where people who wholesale to yarn shops and other shops like that sell yarn, they can come and buy products and see new yarn lines, place orders, things like that. It also brings kind of the professional yarn knitting community together. In a sense, obviously, not everybody can go to TNNA and not everybody can represent their yarn at TNNA, but it is a really good place to maybe get a little bit more exposure to yarn shops if you're hoping to wholesale. So yeah, so that was great. We did not have a booth. We were not going there for our yarn, but we did go for our retail store. We do, Knit Circus has a retail store as well as a online yarn shop where we sell our yarn, and we also are bringing in more products, more yarn lines, things like that. So we went there to find some fun things to bring in. We placed a few orders, and we are planning on placing some more. We connected with a few people about trunk shows, and it was just, it was a really great experience. It was tiring, like all kind of work trips are. There's a lot of socializing and networking and things like that, which after a while, as much as you enjoy meeting new people, it kind of, it takes a toll. So yesterday we got up at 4:45, which Central Time, which Eastern Time in Ohio was 5:45. we got in the car, we drove to the airport, and flew back. It was not quite a full day of travel, but we didn't get home until about 1:30 Central Time. So it was a long day. Um, and yeah, I crashed last night pretty hard. But it was really good. I'm glad I went, and yeah, I will show you a couple of things. I did end up getting to buy a couple things for my own personal stash, as well as for the store, so that was exciting. And then last weekend, I was in Iowa for Seaver's best friend's wedding, and we actually went to a yarn store that weekend too. Actually, we went to 2 yarn stores, which was awesome, and I'll talk a little bit more about that too when I show off some of my purchases over the last few weeks. But yeah, we were there, so not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, came home Sunday. So I've been gone the last few weekends, and it's been just kind of crazy. And this weekend we actually leave for Colorado. We're going to Colorado. We're going to Rocky Mountain National Park. I'm very excited. And we're going to be spending some time in Denver a little bit, and yeah, just doing some fun things. We're going to be there for a week. So anyway, all that to say, things have been kind of crazy and a little bit busy and a little bit stressful. And yeah, but I have some knitting to show you. And I should probably get on with that because it's about 12 and a half minutes in and I haven't showed you anything. So let's crack on. Let's start with, wow, I kind of thought that I had more works in progress, but I guess I've only been working on two projects. One of them is a new design that I'm working on, a new shawl. And I have been kind of posting a little bit on Instagram about just the fact that I was kind of starting to knit on this, to figure out what I wanted to do. And it started out one way. I knit, oh man, I don't know how much I knit. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough of this one idea. And then I quickly realized that it wasn't turning out the way I wanted it to. I'm actually going to use that same idea for something else in the future that I think will be cool, but it's not what I wanted this yarn and this project to become. So I recast on twice because I hadn't done the math, and I was doing a pattern and it wasn't working out, so I ripped it out again. So this is try number 3. And I'm knitting this I'm keeping this in my Daisy Girl bag, which has the pretty farm fabric. And I'm knitting it out of, and it also has a window in the front. That was the back of it. Window in the front. And I'm knitting this out of, Daybreak. Not Daybreak, that's the name of the color. I'm knitting this out of Dye Monkey Yarns in her DK base. I'm not sure what the base is called. I don't have the tag in here, which was kind of an oversight. I don't know where the tags went actually. But it is this really pretty bluey, greeny, gray color, and it's called Daybreak. I am alternating skeins. I had 2 of these. I wanted to use all 2 of them. I want this to be a really big, squishy, lovely, comfy shawl. And yeah, so I'm alternating skeins because they're hand dyed. I know they're just going to be slightly different, so that's going to keep the shawl from looking, having that big break in there where I change skeins. Sometimes it's not super noticeable, and sometimes I don't really care, but it's just better. You never know how dramatic it's going to be till you get there. And then you either have to live with it or you have to rip it all out and do it again. And I didn't want to risk it. So I don't know how much I'm going to show. Maybe I'll just show you a little bit of the corner of kind of how it's knitting up. I never know what to do about like designs. Do I wait and show you the finished product? Do I not even talk about the design until it's ready to go? I think it's a little harder for people who have podcasts and are also designers because you want to talk about what you're knitting. And I've been spending a lot of time on this, so I'm always torn. I'm always like, do I just hint at it or do I not even say anything? I think this is a good compromise. I want to show you how it's knitting up, but yeah, I won't show you the whole thing. So this is the little bitty cast on edge, and then this is kind of how the colors are knitting up a little bit. It is just like this really pretty, see, okay, this color right here is almost like a sea green thrown in there, and the rest are these like bluey grays. Oh, it's so pretty. So anyway, that was a little teaser. So I would say I'm not even really halfway done. It's really exciting though. I'm loving knitting on it. I didn't take it with me on my trip because it was just gonna be too big. We only took backpacks as carry-ons. We didn't book or check a bag or anything. So I only had room for a small project, and this with like 2 skeins of like squishy soft DK, it was just gonna be too much. So I left it at home, but I was kind of wishing for it as much as I had fun knitting my other project. I always love making progress on especially a new design. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to it, and I'm definitely bringing that with me on our road trip to Colorado. So the nice thing about road trips is that you don't have to worry about the weight of your luggage or is everything gonna fit. You can just pack 4 or 5 knitting projects if you want to. Don't limit yourself. You never know what you're gonna be, wanting to knit on. So yeah, that's what I love about driving rather than flying. And I'm definitely bringing this with me. See, it looks so... That's the one thing about the window bag. I like being able to see what's in here, but sometimes when you just like squish things in there, it doesn't look super pretty. So, but that's okay. My next project is the one that I brought with me to Ohio, and I have this in a new bag that I would like to show you. So okay. So when I was getting ready to leave on Thursday, I had brought my yarn and everything in a project bag that I already had, one of my Resilient Knitter bags, and I was gonna use that for my project and then also for my wallet and all this other stuff. I didn't have like a small purse to also bring with me, so I figured my bag would, do double duty and just keep all my essential stuff in there too. But as the day wore on, I was realizing that my Resilient Knitter bag was just a little bit too small. My wallet was poking out of the top. I was shoving everything in there, and it really didn't have a good handle to like secure to either my wrist or my bag or something like that. So we at Knit Circus just got a big batch of these awesome bags. They're called... Do I still have my airplane food? Oh no. I thought I still had my airplane snack in there. They're called Chasing Acorns bags. There's the little tag there. Chasing Acorns. And, oh, I showed it to you upside down. I'm sorry. I couldn't see in the camera. There you go, Chasing Acorns. So I think that this is a maker out of Canada. I'm pretty sure. We saw her bags at Yarn Con in Chicago and placed an order with her after that for wholesale, and just got a bunch of these in, and I was looking at them and thinking that those would be the perfect travel bag. So the one thing I like about it is it has this really durable handle, so I was able to keep that on my wrist and kind of carry it. But it also has a carabiner. It doesn't really, yeah. So it has a carabiner, and I was able to also hook this onto my backpack that I was traveling with. That was my only luggage. If I didn't want to carry it, I could just have it sort of on the strap, hanging down, and keep it all together so I didn't risk losing or leaving it somewhere. The inside of it is a vinyl, so it's waterproof. It's also, you're able to wash it, which is really, really nice. So if I got something inside here, I could wash it and then it wouldn't, you know, get on my project. But also if something got on the outside of this, it wouldn't soak through the fabric. It would keep my project dry and stain, you know, if I spilled coffee or something, it wouldn't stain my project. So that's really cool. And then the last feature, those were all the features that I liked about it for traveling. The last feature though is just cool. So you can see it has this kind of flat, or not flat bottom, but I don't know what you'd call it. Let's call it a flat bottom, like flat from here to here. But if you wanted to have like a box bottom, all you do, I'm gonna cinch it up quick so I don't lose all my stuff out of here. All you do is you take the button on this side and the button on this side and you snap them. Whoops, I should actually watch what I'm doing and not watch the screen. You snap them together. Look at that, and then I have a box bottom bag. Isn't that cool? So it's convertible. Without having it snapped, the flat bottom or the flat bag, there's a little bit more room, as you can imagine, but this is nice if you wanted to set it like on a table or something. And I actually had it like this. I had it snapped most of my trip, just because it was a little more compact. But yeah, either way, it works awesome. And this held all of my stuff. It held my wallet, my chapstick, my knitting project, my phone. It was basically my purse for the weekend. And yeah, it worked out perfect. A snack, I think I had like crackers in there, just in case, you know, we didn't get a chance to eat lunch and stuff like that. But hiding in this bag is, oh, my boarding passes. I can throw those away now. My earphones, headphones, you can put those away. And my project. So this is my new Show Some Love shawl that I'm knitting on. I am knitting this in Knit Circus Trampoline, which is 100% superwash merino. It's also very tangly right now and very twisty. I was surprised by how much, look at that, how much twist this project has in it. So it's definitely getting wet blocked. This is also a prototype cake. This was one of the first tries we did with this color. So we're not always 100% like careful with our prototypes, and that's why you're going to see a way more dramatic change here than our yarns usually have. Like, we usually have very crisp changes to the different colors in our gradient yarns, but as you can see, like some blue, I don't know how that happened, some blue got up there. Yeah, we're testing out the color to see if we like the combo, and we're not always concerned with clean breaks when we're doing prototypes. So this is not how it would look like. This is not how it would look if you ordered a cake of this from us today. So it starts with this kind of mossy green. It's really hard to see at the beginning because it is really energized. But I have that first lace panel in there, right there. And then it comes down. And as you can see, I don't know if everybody is familiar with this shawl. If you watch the podcast, you will have seen when I first designed it. But it does have a texture to it here. Some slip stitches and stuff like that are in there. And then it has this really pretty lace. And the lace sections grow each time you do them. So the first time you only do the rows, there's only 2 lace rows. And now there are 4, I think. Yeah, 4. So, and then the next time there'll be 6. So it kind of gets bigger each time. Yeah, I am about halfway done, I would say. Not quite halfway. Once I get done with the cream color, then I'll be halfway done. So this is what my gradient cake looks like now. So I have those beautiful pinks and purples left to go. And yeah, it's just going to be this really beautiful summery shawl. So I've been posting pictures in the Ravelry group as well. Don't worry, I am not eligible for prizes. I've been having fun posting my progress and seeing everybody else's progress as well. And yeah, if you want to get involved, like I said, it's super easy. Just cast on the shawl, post pictures of your progress, or just a finished object picture. The more times you post, the more times you'll be eligible, so why not? And yeah, that's what I've been doing with that. The last time I podcasted, I believe I showed you my pair of socks that I was knitting, and since then I've finished them. We're just moving right on to finished objects. My transitions aren't that great. I'm just gonna keep talking. And I couldn't remember if I had finished these for the last podcast. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But even if I did, I'll just show you again. I don't think I had my sock blockers with me, so either way, I'll show these off again. So these are done in Hugh Loco's 80/20 sock base in the Guru colorway. I absolutely loved this yarn. There you can see the texture pattern on these socks as well. They're so addicting. These are my Birds and Buds socks. It's another pattern on Ravelry, and this is my second pair that I've done in like 2 months. Usually I switch out my sock patterns, but as soon as I finished my first Birds and Buds socks, I decided I need to cast on another one. The texture pattern is so addicting. It's just like, it's so mindless and fun, but also every so often you get that texture stitch in there, and it just like reignites your interest in the sock. So I knit mine with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. That is also what it is written for, and unfortunately I can't include the specific instructions for the Fish Lips Kiss sock because of copyright issues. Obviously, I don't want to take anybody's pattern or idea, so there is a link and a direction to get the pattern, not the directions, in the Birds and Buds sock. I did do these toe up. You can do them cuff down if you want to. The stitch pattern will look a tiny bit different, but it'll just be kind of flipped. And honestly, that won't make too much of a difference. So you can see those little flecks. That's the texture there. And it is, yeah, it's so much fun to do. So I loved these socks. They flew off my needles, and I'm honestly considering my road trip socks, because I'm gonna cast on I'm gonna bring my shawl, but I'm also gonna cast on a pair of socks for our road trip. I'm considering just doing the Birds and Buds again because it's easy. I have it memorized. It's just cute and simple, and yeah, so that's that. I think that is all of the projects. I've stumbled my way through showing you all of those. And next, I suppose I'll show you what I have acquired over the last few weeks. Okay, I had some on the other side, but I moved them all over here, so. Take a sip of lukewarm coffee. Oh, but before I do that, I do want to show you a couple of the things that will be in the giveaway for the Show Some Love Cal. So I will be doing random number generator at the end of the Show Some Love knit along for a little prize package. It'll most likely be yarn, a couple accessories, maybe a bag, we'll see. But I do have the yarn. This is a beautiful skein of yarn that I actually meant to do as a giveaway around the time of Earth Day, and I either didn't podcast around that time. I had a few times where it was 3 or 4 weeks in between podcasts, as you guys I'm sure know. And I didn't get a chance to announce the giveaway or anything like that. So I just saved it for another time. But this is a really, really beautiful skein of yarn by Darn Yarn MN, Darn Yarn, Minnesota. And it is 150 grams of fingering weight yarn. It is 100% merino. Ooh. And it is her Earth Mama colorway. And this was a one of a kind or exclusive colorway for Earth Day. And I wanted to give this away for, like I said, for Earth Day, but I didn't get the chance. This is all for information there, and hopefully you can see it. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful skein. And you could do so much with this yarn. The other thing I wanted to give away is a set of stitch markers, and these are from Molly Girl Yarns. I met Molly at it's so shiny, I don't want to blind you guys. I met Molly at TNNA this year. We're going to be doing a trunk show with her at some point. Actually, I know when. We're doing it in February of 2020. We already set it up. And these beautiful little stitch markers are, of course, going to blow out. But you can see it has like a teal circle. And then these beads, I wish you could actually see what they look like, but they're like marble. And they're really, really pretty. So Molly gave me this set of stitch markers, and while I was there, and I'm gonna include it in the prize package. So you'll get the stitch markers, you'll get the skein of yarn, and then anything else I'm able to accumulate or put together from now until the end of July. And if I get other donations, I would definitely consider doing more than one prize giveaway. So yeah, hopefully that would be really cool. Okay, so first, let's see, it's been, what, 3 weeks, I think, since I podcasted, so I do have a couple of things to show you. Like I was saying earlier, sorry, some of these are in a bag. Like I was saying earlier, we did go to Iowa 2 weeks ago, and while there, sorry, crinkles. While we were there, we went to a yarn shop called Yarn Soup, and that's in Dubuque, Iowa. And that's where we were staying. That's where the wedding was. And before we left town, Seaver, and actually Seaver's mom was there as well at the wedding, and she was driving home with us. So we decided to stop in at Yarn Soup. My mother-in-law is a knitter as well. So we were both really excited to go. It's a beautiful shop. It's in this beautiful old building. It's all redone. It's just gorgeous in there. They have some beautiful yarns, some hand-dyed yarns, things like that, but also like your staple yarns too. And the first thing I saw and decided pretty quickly that I wanted was this beautiful set of minis. These are 5 skeins of, I don't know how many ounces. Oh, a 1 ounce skein? Yeah, 1 ounce skein. I don't know how many grams. But there's 86 yards per skein, and that's 430 yards total of sport weight yarn. And this is from Frabjous Fibers. This is Wonderland Yarns. And I believe it's a cashmere merino. Oh no, just 100% superwash merino. Okay. Okay, so I absolutely fell in love with these colors. I think this would make a beautiful wrap or shawl. And pretty early on I grabbed this and didn't let it go. So I'm not sure if I'm going to turn that into a design, or if I'll just go on Ravelry and find something, or maybe convert a shawl that I've been wanting to make into using those 5 mini skeins. Who knows? Not sure yet. That's kind of the fun of it all. And I also saw, oh, here's the Yarn Soup business card. If you're near Dubuque, you should go. Very cute. I also saw in their sock yarn section that they had some of the original Arna and Carlos sock yarn. What? You cannot find this anywhere. Unfortunately, she only had one ball of this yarn. I've actually already made a pair of socks out of this colorway, but it was before I really knew like my sock recipe very well, and it was before I did the fish lips kiss heel, so they don't fit me like super well. They do fit me, but the heel tends to like slip down, and I don't like that. So I thought maybe I'm not 100% sure if I'll actually make myself a pair of socks out of this, or shorties or something, or just save it. I actually have to look and see if I have the leftovers from my last pair of socks from this yarn, because if I do, that would be amazing. Then I'd definitely be able to get like kind of shorty socks out of it. And I also saw this colorway. I did get 2 of these just to be sure. I also have a pair of socks knit out of these because I loved this colorway as well, but again, has the wrong heel. They tend to slip down my foot. Yeah, so I'm going to reknit myself. Isn't that silly? I hope you don't find that silly. I'm gonna reknit myself a pair of socks out of the same yarn, but with the right heel in it. And they're such, I don't know, I love the feel of these. It's just like a Regia yarn, but it's kind of that nice mix between like a woolly wool and a soft wool, and I just love it. So yeah, that is going to happen someday. All right, and then, so that was at Yarn Soup. Then we drove home, so it's kind of complicated how we got to this next door. But we went to a graduation party for Seaver's cousin up in Minnesota the day after the wedding. So Saturday we left, we drove north, we got to, it was just outside Minneapolis, St. Paul, so we got there. We spent the night up there after the graduation party, and then Sunday we drove back home to Wisconsin. And the way that we went awfully close to my favorite town in the entire world, which is Winona, Minnesota, where I used to live. And we had time purposefully, we sort of made it happen. We had time to stop in at Yarnology, which is the yarn store there that I used to work at and has some of my favorite people. And it was really fun. I got to visit with a couple people I hadn't seen in a really long time. And of course I did a little bit of yarn shopping. So the first thing that I got was, I was so happy to see they still had these. I thought for sure they'd be out, but apparently they went a little bit heavier in ordering them this time. It is the newest edition, and you guys are not surprised that I got this. I just need to have every single one of them. It's not even a question. I almost don't even need to look at the patterns or what's inside to know that I'm gonna want it. They just outdid themselves even more. I have yet to read a lot of the articles, but I hear that it is just a delight to read. And I mean, come on, look at that beautiful sweater. Ugh. There's a lot of garments in this one, which I think is fun. I would say the majority of them I would definitely wear and knit. Ooh, some beautiful socks. I know you can't see this, but I'm looking. Oh yes, look at that beautiful t-shirt knit. I have so many summer weight t-shirt type sweaters in my queue on Ravelry. It's kind of insane. The main point of this is that if you have the chance to go buy a Lane magazine, you should do it. It's beautiful as always, and I think it has some really thought-provoking articles and interviews in here, and I cannot wait to read them. So yeah, go run and get one. The next thing I got there, I was not planning on getting, But I have been such a fan of the Knitted Wit little gumballs. Yarnology has been carrying these for a while, and I have wanted them for so long, and I've always told myself, no, I don't need them. I didn't get talked out of it this time. I didn't talk myself out of it. Nobody else talked me out of it. So I came home with a handful. These are her national parks themed yarns. I love the idea of this. I think it's just so much fun. I like the thought of collecting all of the, the little colorways for the parks that I've been to. And hopefully she's going to keep these around for a long time, because I haven't been to too many national parks yet, and I want to go to more, and it's only halfway motivated by wanting to get more mini skeins of yarn. Mostly motivated by wanting to see natural beauty and explore and experience nature, and then also collect the little gumballs. So I got these four. So these are the 4 national parks that I have been to. I have Yellowstone, beautiful blues and greens. I have Grand Canyon. This is probably one of my favorites. I love that tealy blue with the brown. I have Zion, again, a beautiful green with that yellowy tan, so pretty. And then I did this a little prematurely, but I also picked up Rocky Mountain National Park because we are going there next week. Yay! So those are my 4. I'm going to probably just hang on to these for a while. I'm in no rush to get them knit, and again, like I said, maybe I'll be able to collect a few more, hopefully, but I also had to grab this one because I just loved the color. I haven't been to this park yet, and so I probably won't put it in the same project that I'm putting the others in, but this is the Sitka colorway, and it looked different from the other ones, like it was a different dye lot, and I loved the way this looked. So I kind of knew, even if I went to this park, and I'm not even sure actually where this park is, and it doesn't say what state it's in, but I just wanted this colorway. So I'll do something else with it. I'll add it to something. I don't know. I just needed it. I wanted it. So yeah, these are my little gumballs. And that's what I got at Yarnology when I had the chance to swing by about a week ago. So on this trip to Ohio last weekend, like I said, I was able to pick up a couple things for myself. Mostly it was all buying for the store, and of course we didn't have a whole lot of room in our luggage to carry yarn home, but it was hard. There were a few stalls that did cash and carry. You could buy, they brought extra yarn there so that people could buy it and take it home. And there was one shop in particular that had some beautiful roving, and I could not say no to the roving. We're going to be doing a trunk show with them too at the end of this year, so I kind of wanted to experience their fiber. I'm really excited to have not only yarn come in, but also spinning fiber. So spinners out there, if you love the Knit Circus trunk shows, get ready, because we're going to be bringing in Oink pigments. What? And of course it's blowing out. There you go, Oink pigments. This is their BFL and silk fiber. It is 4 ounces. And let's see, 75% superwash BFL, 25% silk, indie dyed, grown in England, hand dyed in Indianapolis, Indiana. So cool. I was being drawn to this color all day, or the whole time we were in their booth, and finally decided I wanted to get it on, they had it like on all their bases, finally decided I wanted to get it on fiber. So I bought this, and then looked at the colorway name afterwards. I had thought it said standing ovation. Nope. It says standing ovulation. Yes, you heard me right. So this is part of their series. They have 3 new colorways that have to do with women's health. It's kind of to get a conversation started and also to just, put some emphasis on the fact that we don't talk about women's health that often in like everyday life. I know, a lot of our groups were, trying to normalize talking about these things and putting, importance on it, but still it's really hard. So I thought that was just hilarious. And I love the message behind it, and yeah. So that night, I bought that on Friday. That night, Friday night, we went to the open house for Destination Yarns. She has a studio. She's a hand dyer not in Dubuque. That was the last story. She's a hand dyer in Cleveland, Ohio, and we wanted to go check out her studio, see her yarn, meet her in person, and it was really, really fun. So I did come home with a skein of yarn from her, and that is her card. And as you can see, I got a beautiful skein of yarn. I was drawn to this one over and over and over again. I debated on a few colors from her, but I just had to come home with this one. And this is on her 80-10-10 superwash merino wool cashmere nylon. It's 400 yards. It feels like a dream. Actually didn't realize I was buying an MCN when I bought it, but I don't care. And this is the name of it. I think I'm gonna butcher it if I say it or try to say it, so I'll just put it up here and you guys can read it. My light and my camera does not know what to do with that shininess. But yeah, I'm really excited about this skein of yarn and glad that I was able to come home with something. I'm really hoping that we're gonna do a trunk show with Destination Yarns. I think that her yarn is beautiful and we would love to host it in the Knit Circus shop. So hopefully we can get that scheduled for sometime next year. All in all, that is about it. Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm really glad I fit in a podcast this morning. I am going to be heading in to work again. I know. Later today for a few hours just to start getting ready for me being gone next week. And yeah, so it's another busy day, but that's all right. I really wanted to fit in a podcast. I also wanted to say thank you to everybody for signing up or showing interest in the Driftless Knitting Retreat. We only have 1 spot left. As far as I know, that spot has not been taken. So if you have been thinking about coming, we are getting together September 12th or 13th through 15th, I want to say. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will be meeting in Viroqua, Wisconsin, at a beautiful retreat center. We're going to be staying in a couple different buildings of just really comfortable accommodations. All the info and all the details are up on the website, which is driftlessknitting.com. You can find, I really only have information on the retreat on that website right now, but hopefully I turn that website into a place where I can do some blog posts again. I can maybe offer a couple other things. I really want to do some Driftless Knitting swag. That's kind of in the works. And yeah, some other fun things. But so far, it's just for the retreat. You can go on there and it's under events, or just scroll down the website, hit RSVP, and then you'll find the spots. Actually, there's only the 1 spot. And yeah, you can sign up and pay there. But yeah, it's really exciting. I'm excited. We're going to have a really good time. We're going to a fiber mill. We're going to a yarn shop. We're going to eat some good food. We're going to just knit and talk, and it's going to be great. So if you want to join us, swing by there. I'm also kind of in the process. I don't have time right now, but I will be when I get home from Colorado. I will be hopefully putting up spots for just day passes. So you can come to the mill with us, you can come to the yarn shop, you can come back to the retreat center for that afternoon, and if you so choose, you can have dinner with us. And yeah, those will be, I'm not sure the price on those yet, but it will be a little bit just because the price of dinner, and I'm not sure if the retreat center will, I'm not sure if they have like a quota on how many people can come out there. So I just have to check on that, and then I might have some day passes available. Just keep an eye on my Instagram, keep an eye on the podcast. I will announce it here again. And yeah, thank you to everybody who has signed up so far. Go snag that one spot if you really want to come. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, whether or not you're a new viewer or you've been watching for the last, I don't know how long. I really want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting me and the podcast and all my crazy endeavors. And I will hopefully talk to you guys again very soon. Until then, have a great week. Do things that make your heart happy. Love one another. Support one another. Let's just lift each other up. We're going through some interesting times now, but I think I wasn't gonna talk too much about any of this, but I think we are on a positive trajectory. I can't say that word, and I'm really proud with some of the steps that are being made in the fiber community and the fiber industry and the knitting community. Yeah, I love you all. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.